Young Woman and the Sea was directed by Joachim Rønning, and it stars Rey Skywalker herself, Daisy Ridley, and she's appearing in a biographical sports drama. Disney is known for putting out these movies. They've been known for doing this for like at least 20 years now. And it almost seems like nobody knows they're coming out, nobody goes to the theaters to support them, and then they don't see it until it appears in their home library and they were like, what the heck were we doing? So Daisy Ridley plays Trudy Ederle. She's a swimmer who overcomes adversity and the animosity of a patriarchal society to rise through the ranks of the Olympic swimming team, all to ultimately complete a 21-mile trek across the English Channel. And she is the first woman to ever pull off this feat. I didn't really know who this woman was until I went into the theater to watch it, and I can honestly say that without Trudy Ederle's efforts, women's sports would not be where they are right now. This woman should be described as nothing short of a trailblazer and a pioneer. And I think this movie does a wonderful job paying homage to her and her legacy and telling her story. There's some really nice direction overall in this movie. I love how all of these underwater sequences and the swimming sequences especially, those are all shot incredibly well. And not to give too much away, but there is one sequence involving a jellyfish field. Man, that's intense. And that's all accentuated by a brilliant score by Amelia Warner. She is really nailing all the notes just right. And we've all known for about a decade that Daisy Ridley is a freaking revelation as an actress. We've known this since The Force Awakens came out. That was basically where she was discovered. Since Star Wars ended, she's been doing a lot of smaller projects, but this might be her best work, even above Rey. She understands the trajectory of this woman's journey, and she certainly understands her impact on sports. And I think it's a marvelous performance. You definitely get behind her. Not only with the adversity that she has to overcome, with the men in her society especially overlooking her and basically kind of brushing her aside like, no, sweetie, you're not going to swim the English Channel. You've got progressive hearing loss. There is no way that you can go in the water. Man, she proved all those people wrong, didn't she? Daisy Ridley did a magnificent job in this movie. I cannot wait to see what she does next. There is not a single weak link in the acting department in this movie. Christopher Eccleston is in this. And a bit of a personal anecdote. The actress playing the character of Ruth, I acted with her years ago when I was starting in theater. Like, that is insane. That's my old friend Saskia on screen. I couldn't believe it. Saskia, if you end up watching this, I'm pulling for you. Young Woman and the Sea, ultimately, I feel like is going to be one of the most underrated movies to come out in 2024. This is absolutely a hidden gem. This is the weekend after you get gigantic blockbusters like Furiosa hitting the theaters, which again is egregiously not making enough money. I encourage you guys to go and support this film because you will not leave disappointed. Even though it does follow the basic blueprint of a sports drama that's based on a true story, I think you're going to leave this theater super inspired. And I was inspired to go and research more about this girl once I got home. Now, I will say, that does lead me to my biggest issue with Young Woman and the Sea. In my research, I was noticing, thinking more and more about it, how this movie is written takes a lot of liberties with little factoids that are purely speculation. When you look at the crux of this movie, it should be woman versus nature, literally. Nature should be the ultimate antagonist, and it is. You don't really feel like there's room for a human antagonist. But there is. There's jealousy involved. There's some misogynistic undertones written in there. And I don't know, like, I get why this was put in there, but it felt to me like the movie was presenting this as, yes, this is exactly what happened. This character was intentionally sabotaging this woman on her first attempt across the channel. And I understand why it's there to kind of add a little bit more conflict into this, but you don't really need it. All the other human characters are so encouraging to Daisy Ridley's character. And again, it's based on a true story, and they're presenting it like this is actually what happened here. But we don't know for sure whether or not he was actually sabotaging her. That hasn't been outright confirmed by anybody to my knowledge. That would be like, if I could use a recent example, imagine going to watch The Iron Claw, which was one of my favorite movies of last year. It absolutely tears you apart. Put aside the facts that they cut out an entire brother, but that would be like if you go and watch The Iron Claw and David Von Erich passes away from a drug overdose. Kevin Von Erich, still to this very day, I'm sure he will take this to his grave. David passed away from gastroenteritis. That is what the autopsy said. David passed away from a lot of drinking the night before. A ruptured intestine was involved in there. But there's a few people, I'm not going to name names, in the wrestling industry. They firmly believe that David died of a drug overdose. The Iron Claw would have lost major brownie points from me if they basically said that David died of that drug overdose. But you know what I mean? Like, a lot of these, not even just sports dramas, a lot of these biographical true story style movies, they will take a lot of liberties in the narrative to basically present stuff as facts when it's purely speculation. But I feel like that problem comes with the territory. Any true story, especially in the sports drama world, anyone that comes out in the future, it's going to take liberties like that. It's going to take very small, nitpicky liberties like that. But besides that, great direction from Joachim Rønning, a majestic score, great performances from Daisy Ridley, Christopher Eccleston. The actress playing Daisy Ridley's sister, I forget her name off the top of my head. She was great in this film as well. All of her family members in this, all great performers in their own right. I'm pulling for my friend Saskia to succeed. Young Woman in the Sea is a hidden gem. I encourage you guys to head over to your nearest movie theater and check it out if you haven't already. I'm going to give Young Woman in the Sea an A-. Certainly has my stamp of approval. That is a strong A- as well. Let me know what you thought of Young Woman in the Sea down in the comment section, guys. Let me know what your favorite true story biographical sports drama movie is, because I love what I do here. I love discussing all new things in the cinematic world over here on this channel on the regular. If you're a new viewer, do consider subscribing. Tap on that thumbs up as well if you enjoyed what you saw today. The month of June is kicking into another gear. Speaking of Disney, we got Inside Out 2 coming out this weekend, and I will be reviewing Inside Out 1 later on this week before I go to the theater to check out the sequel. Lots that you can look forward to, and then some over here, guys. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.